Greetings, viewers. So we meet we meet again. So as usual, I will introduce myself. So my name is Ida Bagus Putra Siddhartha, and today I want to make a presentation about metallurgy. We'll talk about the coping with corrosion. So let's begin. So for the book's reference, I use the Metallurgy for the Non-Metallurgists, the second edition book that has been edited by Arthur C. Redden. So the four main subject, we'll have three main subjects that we will talk about today. So that's the mechanism of corrosion, forms of corrosion, corrosion prevention or mitigation. So coping with corrosion, the word corrode is derived from the Latin corrode, which means to gnaw away. While corrosion can occur in many different forms, it is most generally defined as a chemical or electrochemical reaction between a material and its environment that produces a deterioration or change of the material and its properties. In the most common use of the word, corrosion refers to electrochemical oxidation of metals, with corrosion often producing oxide and or salts of the base metal. So for the first topic, we will talk about the mechanism of corrosion. Most metal must be produced from the refinement of ore or oxide of the metal that are found in the earth crust. And this refinement requires a great amount of applied energy or work to extract the metal from their naturally occurring ores. In effect, this chemical separation results in a condition of increased chemical potential, defined as an increase in a thermodynamic function called a Gibbs free energy. The price of this energy expenditure during refining results in what may be considered a metallurgical trade-off. Metal corrosion involves a branch of chemistry called electrochemistry, which is a study of two basic types of reaction. The first one is chemical change that produce electricity or a current flow, and conversely of electric current that cause chemical change. And the other one is electrochemical reaction, basically involve the transfer of electron by two types of partial reaction referred to as oxidation and reduction. The mechanism of corrosion. Oxidation is also referred to as the anodic reaction because the location is similar to that of the anode in a battery. The anode is where metal corrosion and weight loss occur. However, the oxidation reaction can only be sustained if the number or M of electrons or E left over from the oxidized corrosion metal atom, or in symbol is M into M plus Me can be consumed or reduced at the cathode of the cell. Hence, the cathodic reaction is referred to as a reduction. Corrosion and weight loss do not occur at the cathode, but the cathodic reaction is needed to sustain occurrence Me from the oxidation reaction. Corrosion cell and batteries. Both oxidation and reduction reaction must take place for corrosion to occur. During metal corrosion, the areas over which the anodic and cathodic reaction occur may both vary greatly from areas a few atoms apart to areas extending to hundreds of square meters. Many small corrosion cells can form over the surface of one material. The galvanic series. The previous sample illustrates the basic electrochemical reaction in the corrosion of two metals. It also introduced the concept of the oxidation power or metal of the different metals. The oxidizing power of a metal is its ability to build up a voltage or electromotive force or EMF from removal or addition of electron by the electrochemical process of oxidation or reduction. The relative difference in the oxidizing or corrosion potential of metal are determined by measuring the electromotive force or EMF of various material relative to a reference electrode in a given electrolyte. Let's move to the next topic. We'll talk about the form of corrosion. During metal corrosion, the areas over which the anodic and cathodic reaction occur and vary greatly. This results in various forms of corrosion such as uniform attack, pitting, and corrosive corrosion. This picture will describe the form of corrosion in one picture. So for the topic we'll focus on, we will talk about the other slide. So the uniform corrosion or general corrosion is a corrosion process exhibiting uniform tinning that proceeds without a appreciable localized attack. It is the most common form of corrosion and may appear initially as a single penetration, but with thorough examination of the cross-section, it becomes apparent that the base material has uniformly tined. Uniform chemical attack of metal is the simple form of corrosion, occurring in the atmosphere, in solution, and in soil, frequently under normal surface condition. Excessive attack can occur when the environment has changed from that initially expected. Intergranular or IG corrosion is the preferential dissolution of the anodic component, the generally boundary space, or the zone immediately adjacent to them, usually with slight or negligible attack on the main body of the grains. The galvanic potential of the grain boundaries areas of an alloy is anodic to that the grain interior due to difference of composition or structure. This difference may be due to environmental interaction or metallurgical change in the grain boundaries region during the manufacturing or surface exposure. Pitting corrosion. Pitting, characterized by sharply defined holes, is one of the most insidious forms of corrosion. It can cause failure by perforation while producing only a small weight loss on the metal. Pitting normally occurs in a stagnant environment. The pit develops at a localized anodic site on the surface and continues to grow because a large cathodic area surrounded the anode. High concentration of metal chlorides often develop within the pit and hydrolyze to produce an acidic or pH environment. Corrosive corrosion is a pitting that occurs in slot and it gaps at metal to metal and metal to non-metal interface. The mechanism is the development of a concentrate corrosion cell. Corrosion is usually initiated because the oxygen concentration within the residue is lower than that of the surrounding area. The outside area is higher in oxygen concentration and becomes the predominant cathodic region. Anodic dissolution occurs at the stagnant area. Once attack is underway, the area in the residue or under the deposit becomes increasingly more aggressive because of pH depression and an increase in electrolyte concentration. Stress corrosion cracking or SCC is defined as cracking under the combined action of corrosion and tensile stresses. Stress may be applied externally or internally or residually. Crack may be either transgranular or intergranular and are perpendicular to tensile stress. Usually there is little or no obvious evidence of corrosion. Form of corrosion. The corrosion fatigue is caused by the repeated or fluctuating stress in a corrosive environment. Fatigue life is shorter than would be expected if the sole cause was either repeated of fluctuating fatigue or the corrosive environment. The environment is the key factor in this type of corrosion. Selective leaching. In selective leaching, an element is removed from an alloy through corrosion. The most common example is desilicification or the removal of zinc from brass. However, many alloys are subject to selective leaching under certain conditions. Elements in alloy that are more resistant to the environment remain behind. Two mechanisms are involved. The one is two metal in alloy are dissolved, one metal redeposit on the surface of the surviving element. one metal is selectively dissolved, leaving the other metals behind. The stray current corrosion. As an electrochemical process, corrosion can be influenced by the electric potential. Stray current corrosion or stray current electrolysis is different from natural corrosion because it is caused by an externally induced electrical current and is basically independent of factors such as oxygen concentration and pH. Stray current or interference currents are defined as those currents that follow paths other than their intended circuit. Nearly all stray current discharges are very local and concentrated, ensuring accelerated corrosion will occur. Corrosion prevention or mitigation. Although corrosion is a seemingly pernicious process, it can be disrupted by breaking the oxidation-reduction loop of an electrochemical cell. The difficulty is its complexity. For example, evaluating the corrosion exposure condition of metallic piping networks require an understanding of various field conditions such as a soil type, soil pH, stray current effect, and the electrochemical conditionally. There are many ways to stop or mitigate the corrosion. A few common examples are described in the case of galvanic corrosion between the two metals. There are some obvious and less obvious options, including prevent the flow of electric current by physical separation or insulate the similar metal from each other. Limit the electrolyte. There can be no galvanic corrosion without the electrolyte, which explains why there is little or no galvanic corrosion in dry desert atmosphere. Choose those metals that are close together in the galvanic series. Or the other option, use a large anode metal and small cathode metal. For example, plain steel reverse or a small cathode through aluminum sheet or plate. The large anode may prove to satisfactory in service, but aluminum reverse through steel will corrode rapidly in an electrode. Corrosion inhibitor. A corrosion inhibitor is a substance that, when added in a small amount to corrosive medium, reduces its corrosivity in a closed system. Chemical treatment or inhibitors can be used for corrosion control in aqueous environment. Inhibitors are defined as a chemical substance or combination of substances that, when present in the environment, prevent or reduce corrosion without significant reaction with the component of the environment. An example of this principle is the use of antifreeze in cars. Cooling systems contain dissimilar metals such as gray cast iron, aluminum, copper, brass, tin lead, solder, and steel. Cathodic protection. The two types of cathodic protection are sacrificial anode protection and impressed current protection. The prior example of zinc and iron in an acid is an example of a cathodic protection with a sacrificial anode. Sacrificial anode protection is the simplest method. A material that is more anodic than the metal to the protected becomes sacrificial. Anodic protection is based on the phenomenon of passivity. A limited number of metals such as stainless steel can achieve passivity. Anodic protection requires that the potential of the metal be controlled. Shifting the potential of the metal to the passive range can reduce the corrosion rate of an active passive metal. The anodic polarization of the metal results from the formation of the passive layer, which is relatively insoluble in the chemical environment. The most common use for the anodic protection included the storage tank, process reactor that heat exchange, and transportation vessel. Anodic protection has been successfully employed in a sulfuric acid environment to extend tank life. Control of pH and corrosion with pour-based diagrams. Controlling pH is another way of lowering corrosion rates and is a common practice in some applications, such as a municipal and industrial water supply. Metal can occupy various chemical states depending mainly on the pH of the environment and their electrochemical potential. This picture is describing the diagram in metal protection versus the pH for the iron in aqueous water solution. So thank you guys for watching. That's all from me for this video. See you in the next video, I hope. So okay, goodbye.